for this? I'm headed east to West Virginia to experience our nation's newest national park, the New River Gorge. On my way there, I had a lovely harvest host stay at Countryside Orchard near Evansville, Indiana. I've counted that I've had 6 harvest host stays so far on this trip. 3 farms, 2 breweries, and a museum. All have been fantastic. This one was special because it was so quiet, and I picked up the best farm applesauce and apple butter here, thanks to my host, Christy. I had planned a 4-night stay at Babcock State Park on the eastern side of the gorge. As I approached West Virginia, I started thinking maybe 4 nights wasn't enough and decided to add 2 more nights. I was just about to check on extending the stay at Babcock when I got the following message. Now, if you've been following my trip, you're probably as convinced as I am that I have some guide from above, so I'm paying close attention.
Any and all outdoor fires are currently prohibited in the state of West Virginia this weekend. This does, of course, include Babcock State Park. If you would like to cancel your camping reservation here this weekend with us, we completely understand. Please give us a call back.
Since restaurants, stores, adventure outfitters, and popular hikes are easily accessible from the west side of the gorge, I went ahead and canceled my stay at Babcock State Park and moved to a campsite near Fayetteville. I'm so glad it worked out to stay on the west side of the gorge. With a planned 6-night stay, access to stores, restaurants, hiking, gas, good Wi-Fi, etc. all become very important. A good national park visit always begins at the visitor center. And here I got the lay of the land and my first views of the beautiful New River Gorge from inside the visitor center. And just outside the visitor center, take a short walk to view the iconic New River Gorge Bridge, 876 feet above the river. I'll be getting a very bone-chilling view of the bridge in the coming days, so you'll definitely want to stay tuned for that. The park's visitable areas are divided into sections pretty much based on how you get there. As I figured, I found that most sections were easily accessible from the west side of the gorge, and you have to travel public roads and highways to get to and from each area. To give you a sense of scale, driving time between the Canyon Rim Visitor Center on the north and the Sandstone Visitor Center to the south was about 1 hour, so this park is pretty big. I recommend the car audio tour that begins at the Canyon Rim Visitor Center. So first go to the NPS app, New River Gorge, click on Self-Guided Tours. And then when you get to that, go to the Fayette Station Scenic Road Tour. There you'll find a button to start the audio tour, and you can read a little bit about the tour as well.
Welcome to New River Gorge National River and the National Coal Heritage Trail that takes you to a bridge at the bottom of the New River Gorge. For about 100 years, this route was the only way to cross the New River in this immediate area without getting wet. In 1977, the arching modern New River Gorge Bridge was built up on Route 19, and Fayette Station Road lost its importance as a vital link in the area.
There is so much to do in this national park. I was glad I extended my stay here. Okay, so let's start with a little bit of mountain biking. There's an entire section of the park that allows mountain bikes on the trails here at Arrowhead. Now, remember, I'm not looking to do anything that'll get me injured. So I'm looking for something that looks more like a wide dirt road, and the park ranger directed me here. Now, I realized on this ride that I'm definitely getting older. Rides that are labeled moderate seem difficult to me now, and rides that are labeled easy seem moderate to me. So I guess I need to find a ride labeled romper room, and that will probably be about my speed. So down here at Glade Creek, I saw there's an abandoned rail line turned into a hiking trail that's popular with anglers. An abandoned rail line ought to be much easier. So while this trail started out great, just my speed, about 3 miles in, it turned out to get difficult again.
Pretty. All right, this is the Glade Creek Trail. This is what I mean. Trail is not wide like I was imagining abandoned train line to be. And you see up there, it gets very single track. Roots, stumps, drop off. So it gets really technical on this trail. So I think the first like 3 miles are good to the footbridge and back. I think those are good, but after that it gets more like a hiking trail.
I think the verdict here is that if you're of the older crowd like me and you're looking for mountain biking opportunities in New River Gorge, be prepared for moderate to difficult trails. There are a ton of hiking trails at New River Gorge. I found several easier hikes along the rim of the canyon, and all have payoffs along the way.
This is Diamond Point at New River Gorge National Park. And as usual, I'm not going to go too close to the edge, but you can see how beautiful it is. I'm just going to hold on to these trees. Oh my gosh, look at that. So pretty. This is the Grand View area of New River Gorge National Park. And I am coming up on the overlook, which I thought I would share with all of you. You know, this looks like the Grand Canyon, but with trees. These are more spectacular views of Grand View. Look at that. Oh. Those rapids look so little from up here. This is the Sandstone Visitor Center. It's about an hour to the south of the Canyon Rim Visitor Center. And it's apparently much less crowded. I mean, it is midday, so this, I figure, would be the time when it's busiest, but looks like a good time to visit. Let's go check it out.
The big attraction on the south side of the park is Sandstone Falls, another 40-minute drive past the visitor center. Worth it? I say yes. Across this narrow bridge is the Thurmond area, which details the gorge's history in coal mining and rail transportation in the late 1800s to about 1950. Thurmond was a fascinating mix of the past and the present. Abandoned historical buildings and structures are still here, but the one thing that isn't abandoned is the rail line, which continues in active use today. I was totally getting into the gorgeous history and decided to hike from the top of the canyon to the bottom in the Nuttleberg area. Now this is a strenuous hike, and for those of you willing to hike to the bottom of the canyon, you'll get to view the entrance to a coal mine.
This is the Nuttleberg mine. Apparently bats are in there, so they've created those openings so that bats can get through.
And check out the equipment that transported the coal to the rail lines below. At the bottom of the gorge are the remains of the mining town of Nuttleberg, where you can learn more about area history and see the remains of the town with your own eyes.
I'm just thinking 100 years ago, this place would have been bustling with rail cars going through, stores, houses, churches, schools, people living here and making their living off of this coal mine. All right, Mitchell. There are death marches, and then there are hell marches. This is a hell march. All right, I think I'm like a third of the way up. All right.
There's a ton of rock climbing opportunities here. I saw a lot of rock climbers on my hikes. Y'all know how much I dislike heights, so I'm not doing this. I did, however, decide to take a very wild hike across the gorge.
All right, I'm crossing the New River Bridge Gorge. I'm going to be walking underneath this very bridge in just a few minutes. Oh, I'm getting more nervous as I'm getting closer. You know, if you've seen previous episodes, you know I'm not really good with heights. And some would wonder, why am I really even doing this? But they like cable you in, so that'll help. Here we are. And you know, it's the New River Gorge. It's one of those things you just have to do when you've driven over 9,000 miles to be here. All right, let's park and then here we go.
I'm not sure if this poster was here to inform you, thrill you, or scare you, but it gives you a sense of how far up you're going to be in just a few minutes. We got fitted for our harnesses, and then we made the short trip out to the bridge. So a shuttle is going to be picking us up on the far side of the bridge. So I'm wondering, as we're walking out to the plank, how is this a 90-minute ordeal for a one-way trip? This nice fellow here is Doug. He's our tour group leader, and he's hooking me up and guaranteeing me that it's 100% safe and that I will not fall.
There you go.
Okay, here we go.
There we go.
It's over my right shoulder. Oh my God.
No.
Doug. What am I doing? Oh shit.
Life changed dramatically for those who lived around here. You can imagine.
We went out on the plank about 50 feet and then stopped. Why are we stopping? Oh, Doug is telling us something interesting. Now, if Doug ever sees this, no offense, please, I don't remember a single word he was saying. It was like blah, 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 ginger. Do you guys remember that Far Side cartoon, blah, 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 ginger? Now I know why this tour is 90 minutes. And I'm thinking, we're going to be at this height for over an hour?
This afternoon. So Tony Hunsaker was the youngest chief of police in West Virginia history.
Okay, the river is like... What am I doing? What am I doing?
We stopped for pictures somewhere along the way, and Doug managed to get a shot of me for the millisecond that I let go of the railing. Now, if you're curious how I got some of the camera shots looking down, you don't think I had one hand on the GoPro, did you? No. I smartly remembered the chest mount, thank God.
Oh. Just keep looking straight ahead. You know, every time a car goes by or a semi, the whole bridge shakes. It's just so disconcerting. I think I'll stay right here because it's on this thing. All right. Okay, here's the halfway point.
This is it right here. You stand right there, okay?
Okay, right here?
Right there.
This is the halfway point.
You made it. Still going back now.
Greg, you're doing awesome.
Thanks, you guys. Ooh.
It was one of life's happiest moments to get to the other side of the bridge, and as an award for my bravery, Doug gave me this West Virginia quarter, which has the image of the New River Gorge Bridge imprinted on the backside, so I'm keeping this forever. Thanks, Doug. I am not an adrenaline junkie, but I do love a good float, as you might recall from my very sedate canoe trip down the Rio Grande a couple months ago. So the day after I survived the bridge walk, I decided it was a great day to go for a nice float down the New River. Now, those rapids look pretty teeny from way up high, remember? Now, seriously, I think I've done 1 or 2 Class 4 rapids in my life. I remember in Glacier National Park and in Dinosaur National Monument. This trip has multiple Class 3 to 5 rapids with a couple of Class 5. We're going to put in at Cunard and run the river all the way to the New River Gorge Bridge. It's a full day trip. This is our outstanding river guide, Rocky. He's funny, kept us on our toes, and he clearly knows what he's doing. There's a calm before each set of rapids, and Rocky would be prepping us. Okay, if the boat flips over here, here's what you do. Swim left, swim right, stay calm, keep your feet up. Rocks are bad. He was being quite serious, and he would say it's out of a healthy respect for the river. Now here's my GoPro shot as we're approaching the first set of rapids, Upper Railroad. At this point, I'm wondering, what did I get myself into this time? He's having us actually paddle into these rapids. And then this is us going over that same rapid at a different angle. So let's do this thing. Cue up the exciting rock music and off we go.
I am just getting ready to head out of New River Gorge National Park, and I gotta say, of all the national parks I've been to so far on this trip, that this one was my favorite. Big Bend close second. And the reason why this one was my favorite is because the hiking was outstanding, beautiful views, beautiful waterfalls, and the outdoor extreme sports like the whitewater rafting and the bridge walk. Those were thrilling. I'm glad I survived. And then the history, the artifacts, the ruins of the coal mining towns, all so interesting. And you can hike to these destinations and get your hike in, plus see something that's of significance, like a waterfall or the gorge or historical places. Fantastic place. So I'm going to have to give New River Gorge National Park a big thumbs up, and my next stop is National Park number 50, Shenandoah National Park from Virginia. We will see you all there. Bye. Okay, let's go.